When I was in SS1, the principal's daughter was in our class. She was very beautiful and smart, but yet, no boy could approach her. We were all scared of her father, and so we kept our distance. We always had our meetings at the back of the class to discuss on issues ranging from football, PlayStation, girls, and so on. The meeting was for boys alone, as we couldn't allow any girl because of their gossiping nature. While we were having our usual meeting one day, I told them that the principal's daughter was entering my eyes and I want to make a move. The next thing, Solomon stood up and also said that he has been eyeing the girl but didn't have the courage to approach her. The remaining boys said similar things. Then I suggested that we should all toast her and that whoever wins will get 5,000 naira. They all disagreed. They said they knew me too well and were never going to fall for my tricks again. Without persuading them further, I left. The next day, I wrote something on paper and made sure all my guys were seeing me. After I was done, I went to meet the principal's daughter and gave her the paper. Her name was Grace. She looked at me well before collecting it, then I went back to my seat. My friends saw this and were very shocked. They acknowledged my show of courage, and since there was no teacher in the class, they called for an emergency meeting in our usual spot at the back of the class. I was the last to get there and I entered, bouncing. My guys started hailing me. I beamed with smiles as I was ushered to sit. Without wasting time, Solomon declared that he was taking up the challenge. Everyone present there also said the same thing. They even said a closing prayer before they left the meeting venue. What they did not know was that the letter I gave to Grace was not a love letter. It contained the preaching and scriptures of the day. I rephrased and creatively wrote the preachings which I had copied from the Daily Manner magazine for teens. After school that day, she came to meet me in my seat and thanked me for what I gave her. She told me that she enjoyed it and loved my writing style. I was just smiling like idiot. My friends were seeing everything. The next day, Solomon was the first to go and meet Grace with a letter. Before the end of the early morning periods before break, almost all the boys had given Grace a letter. I knew that it wasn't going to end well, especially when I saw Grace sauntering to her father's office. During our meeting that day, everyone was boasting of how they had written the best lines and so on. I was silent throughout. Break was over and we went back to the class. Grace was not still in the class. Few minutes after the break was over, the principal came to the class with his daughter holding different papers. He started calling names based on those who had written letters. He gave each them their letter and told them to read it aloud. The girls were all laughing as the drama unfolded. Solomon went as far as writing, "Don't mind your father," in one of his lines. After they were done reading, the principal told them to follow him to his office. They were very surprised because I wasn't called. "Sir, Godswill's letter is not here. He was even the first to write before we all followed," Solomon told the principal. "And we even saw when he gave her the letter Samuel added." The principal looked at his daughter and asked, "Is that so?" His daughter nodded and explained what was contained in my letter. She even read it aloud to the class. The principal nodded his head and smiled at me. My friends couldn't believe what just happened. Their letters were placed on the school notice board after they had served their punishment for 2 days. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like and comment what you think about this story. Bye for now.